The Transformer fans are one of the greatest fan bases out there.
Transformers,
I think it's one of the reasons why Transformers has been able to stay relevant for the last 25 years. Transformers kind of had this really cool underground feel to it from the 80s. I think it was one of the most popular franchises that was launched in the 80s, and a lot of those, sometimes you look back and think they were a little bit cheesy, but for some reason Transformers just had this really cool edge to it. And there'd be times where I'd even be walking, down the street and have my Transformers t-shirt on with an Autobot logo or a Decepticon logo, and you always had people that would stop you and say, "Oh, that's an awesome Transformers shirt." There was a strong passion for it.
They were the first to embrace the internet and the boards, and these guys found each other after a lot of years of kind of silence, and they've stayed with it. They know everything. They believe in it. They keep us on task. They're appreciative when we do what we do to bring new products out to them that they remember fondly.
The Transformers fans are probably one of the most excitable, enthusiastic, and passionate fans from any brand around the world.
And the fans are amazing. They really know their stuff, and you have to know your stuff too. If you're going to really sit down and debate with them, because they have so much love for the brand, and it's been great experience on this brand that we actually listen to the fans and what they have to say, because they are experts and they do bring a lot of insight, that is better than any focus group you could do. You just have to go onto the fan sites and go to the conventions and listen to what they have to say, and we do try. I feel proud of the fact that we do as a company try to address what they're wanting and out of the toys. So
Transformers fans are like no fan on earth. They are lovable, they're huggable, they're wonderful people. When the show was airing, these kids were they were 12, 13, 14 years old. They were tweens, or just coming into the teenage years. So now at this point, they're in their 40s. And it's really remarkable when they come up, and I have done a couple of conventions, and when you meet these people and they look at you and they say, "You were such a big part of my childhood." It's such a great feeling. I mean, I never expected that. It was a job. It was just a job we did. And to have it turn into something like this is really, really something.
A few years ago, I went and spoke at Emerson College, which has they do something out here in LA. They have an office out here and do internships and things in LA. And I went and spoke to the group there. And the thing that they were most impressed with was that I had written the Transformers. They didn't care about Animaniacs or Pinky and the Brain. They were impressed that I had written the Transformers. So that was fun. And then at Comic-Con a few years ago, the first time these episodes came out on DVD, we did a panel at Comic-Con, so I got to meet some of the fans there.
I was actually exposed to it in the first Botcon Transformers convention that I went to. I was just blown away at how much the brand has meant to these people, and how engaged they still are 25 years later.
Botcon is a convention that is really a celebration for our fans of all ages to enjoy the brand and come together as a community to talk about the brand, to learn new things about the brand, to celebrate the brand history, and to celebrate the future of the brand. 2,000 to 3,000 people plus show up every year to basically celebrate Transformers. There are no other robots in that convention. There's no other properties. It is just Transformers. And if you think of the bigger properties out there, not too many of them have their own yearly dedicated conventions. And that's special. And those fans make that special.
it's really the one place where the Transformers Hasbro brand team can go and spend one-on-one time with our most passionate fans. There's typically thousands of people that go to the convention every year. It's held once a year. We usually choose a different location somewhere in the United States so that at some point in time, a Botcon can be somewhat close to where you live. People sometimes plan their vacations around it. We see a lot of the same faces every single year, and you know, it's great. It's great for us because we're able to really talk one-on-one with the people that care the most about the brand, and also you know, get a little bit of a gut check on how we're doing and what they like and what they don't like. And at the same time, for them, I think it's fun for them to have a voice back to the Hasbro team, but also the camaraderie that they have between themselves and amongst themselves is tremendous. A lot of times now with technology, they're talking a lot over the internet and on the websites, but it's the one time a year where they all get together and they meet in person and they trade and they buy and sell and they talk, and it's just a really great weekend that we're able to bring that to life. And over the last few years, you know, we've tried to make it bigger and bigger. It's gone from having, you know, a number of dealer tables to the fact that we now bring, you know, bigger name talent in to meet and have panels with the fans. So Peter Cullen, for example, who's the voice of Optimus Prime, has been to a number of Botcons recently, and really bringing in those people that the fans really want to see and they want to meet and they want to show their appreciation for it. So it's a great event.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I'm going to another convention, I think, at the end of May. It's going to be here in Pasadena, and visit them, and we're going to do a little mock recording session and have the fans stand in for Optimus Prime and all the characters. So.
Last year I went to Birmingham, England, to do Auto Assembly, is their Transformers convention, and I met the British fans. And it's a wonderful experience. It's kind of overwhelming. I mean, because you have all of these people gathered in one place for one thing only. And these fans are really rabid, many of them. I mean, they're so into this. There's a real energy in the room. You know, there's a huge amount of energy, there's a huge amount of enthusiasm, and it's really great to be a part of that.
What's really funny about Transformers, what Transformers fans tend to be, unlike a lot of other things, is totally normal. I mean, because that show was such a massive hit in its era that it was just regular kids that watched it. You know, spending a lot of time doing video games and before that role-playing games and all that, I met a lot of weird fans. There aren't a lot of weird Transformer fans. I mean, every once in a while you get somebody, you know, that still got a chip on their shoulder because Optimus got killed or something like that. You know, it's like, you know, I was only acting under orders. You know, that was my job. You know.
What was really evident is how important the Transformers were to kids when we killed Optimus Prime. I mean, that was the thing. What we decided to do that, you know, his time had gone past, and it was time for a new Rodimus Prime to rise up and take the lead. And so we decided, okay, well, maybe it's time for. We've never had a character die on this show or in G.I. Joe. I think it's time for Optimus Prime. He's been a great leader, but it's his time. And so we had this very respectful scene with Prime dying and passing the Matrix on to Ultra Magnus through Rodimus Prime, and who then later is given the Matrix and becomes the next leader of the Transformers, of the Autobots. So it was like a special thing. But then all of a sudden, parents were furious with us, and the kids were upset and they were crying. And
some kid locked himself in his bathroom for 3 weeks, and there was a hue and cry.
Such a big reaction. And so, yeah, I mean, then when we thought about it, we understood it because they really cared about it. Every day, there was this leader, this authority figure. They're Optimus Prime, you know, and they really cared about him.
And Hasbro said, okay, we got to bring Optimus Prime back.
So we sat down with the Hasbro people and said, okay, all right, we're going to bring him back.
And what nobody had the heart to tell him was that that we had another episode where Optimus Prime was a zombie, and he comes back and we kill him again.
But then, so we did a return of two-part series, Return of Optimus Prime.
Heroes never die. I, Optimus Prime, can never be conquered.
Catch the surprise return of Optimus Prime, coming soon to the Transformers.
Took a lot of heat on that one, so, you know. But at the same time, as people look at it in retrospect, they really thought it was a courageous thing to actually have such an important character die and die because it's war, and so therefore to constantly show nobody ever being hurt in war, maybe sending the wrong message here. The leader is dying. This can happen.
No, Transformer fans are great, and they are the most normal of all possible fans.
They really loved it, and they really gave them something to really get into that was new and exciting. And
I think that their passion is one reason why we were able to launch the Transformers live action movie and have it be as successful as it was, because the fans really drove the interest in the property and drove the interest in the movie itself from a very cool underground way. And it really, you could just feel it growing over time from when it was originally announced that we were going to do the live action movie up until the time it came out. You just felt this tidal wave of interest growing and growing. And I attribute that in a lot of ways to the strength of our fan base.
Really, their passion has kept this brand alive.
I grew up right at that time where Transformers came out. I was in 6th or 7th grade at the time, and you know, the cartoon was so cool to me, and the general story of the Transformers was very easy to get sucked into.
Working on Transformers is obviously, it would be special for anyone. For me, I walked my brothers to the movie when I was babysitting them when I was a kid. I certainly waited for Christmas and ran home to watch the cartoon.
I watched the TV show when I was a kid. I grew up at the perfect time to really fall in love with Transformers. Had several of the toys, not as many as I wanted to as a kid, but maybe that's what drove me to be a toy designer eventually, is to get my hands on more of the great Transformer toys.